Welcome to The Car Guy with your host, Klaus Kindor. Currently, Klaus owns Classic Car Holdings, LLC here in Spokane, a boutique dealer specializing in vintage, collectible, and contemporary automobiles. The Car Guy is sponsored in part by European Auto House and Can-Am Body Shop. Here's Klaus.
Well, welcome to The Car Guy, and The Car Guy is Klaus Kindor.
Good morning, Kent.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
All right.
Cool.
Hey, last time, and we're going to get this fixed. Don't panic, folks. Last time we talked about the difference between buying or financing a car, because most people will finance it rather than pay cash. I mean, let's just face that.
Right.
Or leasing, and we
Right.
talked about the differences. We talked about some of the benefits and so forth. We also talked about the language. There's a lot of language that the typical purchaser or customer out there what does it all mean, right? So
right.
we covered that last time.
Right.
This time we're going to cover the numbers, the math.
We're going to do the math. We're going to, and again, it's not my position to tell you how to acquire your automobile.
I'm getting
not my
told
job.
to tell you to turn the power thing on.
Turn the power thing on. Where is
On
it?
the side.
On the side.
On the side.
Okay, I am 60 years old. I am technically
Oh, it
incompetent.
worked. You did it.
I'm technically
Okay.
incompetent. All right, cool. There we go. All right.
Here we got two guys that are 60 and 70s trying to do the electronics. Okay, does that say something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Paper and pen works.
Yeah.
I'm still amazed that I can write on this and it shows up on this.
I
don't know.
Well, hey, when you talk about giving us the math, what do you mean by that?
What I mean by that is if we look at it, if we do a direct comparison between leasing and financing an automobile, and again, it's not my position to tell you how to acquire the automobile, but I would like at least to give you some insight, or our viewers some insight, as to how the math actually works.
Okay.
And let you then decide what is going to be more cost effective for you in relationship to acquiring this automobile.
Because we all have different needs and budgets and everything else, and so it's not your plan to say you must do it this way or that way, but educate folks. Okay.
And again, when it comes to leasing, we have to be able to stay within certain parameters, which we do not have to do when we purchase a car or finance an automobile. The car is ours. We can drive it as much as we want. We can treat it as however we'd like.
Right.
Whereas when it comes to leasing, again, we're pretty much committed to this contractual agreement, and we do need to treat the car well, right? Because when we turn it in, we don't want to have any penalties set upon us. So, what I wanted to basically do was show you a difference between a 36-month lease and a 60-month finance. On a specific automobile. I can tell you that the numbers that we're going to be displaying are numbers on a real car. The lease are numbers on a real lease. That I did 2 weeks ago on my wife's car. So these aren't numbers that are made up. This is real stuff, right?
Great.
So what I'm worried about, again,
that makes it more authentic.
Exactly right. That makes it a whole lot more believable. So what I'm worried about, again, is, do I love the car?
Yes.
How much money am I putting out of my pocket?
Yes.
And what am I writing a check for every month? Right? Those are the three parameters that we kind of set up on our first show. Right. And again, if those three things all match up, we've most likely found the right automobile for ourselves, right? Okay. So what we have done is we're looking at, I don't know that I want to necessarily mention manufacturers here. I won't. Okay. So we're looking at a 2019 vehicle. We're looking at a 36-month term on a lease with 12,000 miles a year. And we're looking we want to come up with as little money out of pocket as needed, and yet we still want to have a payment that we're comfortable with. And in this particular case, we're shooting for a $450 payment per month. Those are the parameters. So we did a 36-month lease at 12,000 miles a year on this specific car. The MSRP on the car was $33,040.
So when it gets to $11,999, do you take away your wife's keys?
Yes.
Okay.
But only once a year.
Yeah.
So the car, again, the car listed for MSRP or sticker price was $33,040.
Okay.
Which is the same on both sides. You'll see.
Right.
We have a selling price on the left side on the finance of $31,009. We have a cap cost, which is the same thing. It's just a little bit different terminology of $31,000. That's the number that the car is being sold or leased 4.
Okay.
MSRP is used because the residual, what the manufacturer or the lender believes the car is going to be worth after 36 months and 36,000 miles of driving. In this particular car, the residual is 63%, which is extraordinarily high.
Oh, okay.
This is a lender that believes this car is going to retain 63% of its original value over 36 months.
Wow.
That's a big number.
Yes.
Okay. The residual then is $20,816, and I'll get back to that. We have a money factor, which again is kind of the same thing as our finance rate.
Okay.
It's just figured a little bit differently.
Okay.
Of 0.00169.
Okay, that's not annual.
Right. And if we again multiply that times 2,400, because that's the math,
okay,
it gives us an effective interest rate of 4%.
Okay.
And therefore, on the left side, where it comes to the financing, I put down a finance rate of 3.9%,
so basically
which is about the
the
going
same.
rate.
Right,
Exactly right.
Basically
exactly
the
right.
same. Right.
What's different, however, is on a lease, we're going to put a total of $500 out of our pocket.
Okay.
I mean, that's it.
Really?
$500.
Okay.
Which is going to cover our first month's payment.
Okay.
Which is again $413 plus tax.
Right.
Which is $37.
Okay.
Which then gives us a $450 payment.
Right.
Every month, including tax.
Okay.
Now, a smart salesperson might tell you your payment's only $413.
Okay.
It is.
Okay.
He's not lying.
Right, because the rest is sales tax.
But you got to add the tax to it.
Right.
So the real payment's $450.
But you pay one way or the other, but you're paying only for the months that you lease it on the right side, the lease,
Exactly right.
versus for the whole MSRP of 33,040.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. So I now have paid my $500 down. I have
Okay.
a $450 payment times 35 months.
Okay.
Right? Because my first payment was included in the $500.
Okay.
That number is a total, plus including the down payment, I would have paid $15,750
Okay.
over 36 months.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
So, good so far?
Yeah.
And I do not own the car.
Right.
God, that's terrible.
You turn it back.
That's terrible. I don't own the car. I put out 15 grand and I don't own the car.
Yeah, but you can go get the latest new one.
I can.
Yeah.
But here's where the difference really comes.
Because your wife is tired of the red and she wants a blue one.
Whatever the case may
Yeah,
be, you know. Here's where it gets really, really different. We know that on the lease, I'll be paying a total of $15,750 if I got the math right. I think I did. Yes.
You know, people
Plus-
at home,
well,
people at home are getting their calculators.
Yeah, plus
out.
plus my $500 down. I'm sorry.
Right,
So
okay.
I will have paid a total of $16,250 over 36 months.
Okay.
And I do not own the car.
Right.
On the finance side,
Right.
we again want to keep this payment at $450 a month.
Right.
Right. In order to get to that same payment
Right.
with a 3.9% effective interest rate.
Okay.
Again, same.
Right.
To buy the car, I need to come up with, this is a shocking number, $10,300 down
Oh, really? Wow.
to get to that same $450 payment for 60 months.
And you're probably not going to do that.
Most likely not. Now, here's
I
where...
mean, not you personally, but most people would probably not put that kind of money down.
well, unfortunately, yes, they do.
Do they really?
Again, I want a $450 payment. I'm
Okay,
looking at a $33,000
okay.
car.
All right.
The math says in order for me to get to that $450 payment,
Okay.
I've got the price of the car, $31,009. The
Okay.
selling price is the same.
Right.
I've got sales tax of $2,884,
Wow.
which gets paid up front.
Yes.
I've got a $150 documentation fee.
Okay.
I've got a $150
Registration.
approximately $150 in registration. It's actually like $143. I'm off
Okay.
a
Yeah,
couple
I know.
dollars.
I know.
But here's where it gets really interesting. Most people, again, keep a car 36 months,
Right.
right? We know the payment's the same.
Right.
So over 36 months, I've spent $15,750 in payments,
Right.
plus my $10,300.
Uh-huh.
And I have spent how much money?
Well, it'll be, 26
Actually,
to 250.
26,250. And here's the kicker. I have spent $10,000 more
Actually,
over
10,
this
yeah.
over the same 36 months.
Yes.
And I still don't own the car.
Right.
I still have 2 years of payments left
Ah, okay.
at $450 a month,
Okay.
which is $10,800.
Wow.
I have now paid $36,000. Oh, if I can get this thing to work, $930.
Okay.
And I now own a 5-year-old car.
Yes.
That's worth.
Yes. And probably your warranty and some of the other things are gone now. That first 3 years that often you get in terms of the guarantees and so forth.
So now I have to concern myself with.
Am I buying something for the long term?
Well, not only that, but what's this car worth after 5 years?
Yeah.
After I paid $36,900. But what's important to me again is, over here I've spent $16,200. I don't own the car.
Right.
Over here I've spent $26,000. I don't own the car. I still have 2 years of payments left.
Right.
So for me to put $500 out of my pocket just seems to make a whole lot more sense than putting down $10,300 out of pocket in order to get to that.
But on the lease side, you would be going back into another lease, so
Most
you
likely.
still would be doing the $450
Most likely.
or something like that.
Right, but here's where.
But a new car.
But here's where it gets really interesting. Remember, our residual value is $20,816. 63% of the MSRP is our residual.
Right.
So I can buy this car at the end of the term for that same $20,816.
Okay.
Which makes this basically a wash between the two.
Okay.
Now I do have to pay tax on the $20,000 if I decide if I decide to purchase the car at the end of the term. I get to pay the $20,000 residual
because that's what you have left that you haven't been paying
plus
tax on.
Exactly. I've only been taxed on the first on the usage of the automobile is what I've been taxed on.
Those 36 months.
That's a lot of money to come up with out of pocket.
Yes.
Right.
And most people are stretched today between raising a family, college education, all of the other kinds of things that go on to start to put some serious dollars down.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
Welcome to reality.
When does it start making sense?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Literally sense. Yeah. Dollars.
So again, it's not my position to tell you need to do this or you need to do that.
Right.
And I'm kind of shooting myself in the foot here because I don't sell new cars.
Okay.
I deal in previously enjoyed automobiles. Right. So, but if you're looking for a new automobile, and again, the three major factors are: do you love it?
Right.
How much money are you putting out of your pocket? And what are you writing a check for every month?
Right.
You can see that over a 36-month term on a lease, we're going to actually spend $10,000 less over that same 36 months. I've got $10,000 in my pocket I can invest into something that's going to make me money rather than something that is going to absolutely lose me money.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's take a quick break, come back and wrap up. We want to thank our sponsors. And who are they?
European Auto House. Greg and his wonderful folks up at European Auto House.
Yes.
If you're driving
where are they?
They're up in I was corrected last week. They're in Spokane, not in Airway Heights, but they're right off of Geiger and Thorpe.
Oh, okay, yes.
The would be the south side of the freeway.
Okay.
Great folks. They're wonderful, wonderful people. They're good folks. And of course, we've got the great folks at Can-Am Auto Body.
All right.
Can-Am Body Shop has been a family-owned business for 50 years, and we would like to invite you to try our local automotive body repair services. We offer a variety of services, including full-service collision repair, frame and unibody repair, air condition services, and fiberglass repair. We have a certified spray booth. We're on a gold level with Spokane Clean Air, and we are willing to work with all insurances. And you'll always get a written lifetime warranty with any of our services. Give us a call at 509-534-3044 or visit our shop at 7706 East Boone Lane. That's 7706 East Boone Lane.
Well, Klaus, we are back, aren't we? The last program we did a couple weeks ago was about the financing and the leasing and the benefits of both. We just talked about the actual numbers today. Right. We talked about the language in terms of MSRP.
Yeah. Manufacturer Suggested Retail Price.
Right, which means
sticker.
Yeah.
Sticker price is the same thing.
Right, yeah.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
And so forth. So this has been great information because we're not in a community, Spokane, compared to what my friends are and your friends in California, who lease about everything, right? And that's really been growing a little bit here in Spokane, but it's not at the numbers of some of the larger metropolitan areas, especially in California.
You know, if you're like me, and I think everybody is pretty much the same, we're worried about our monthly expenses. We're worried about, do I have savings? Do I really want to put $10,000, $11,000, $12,000, $13,000 into something that's going to lose me money?
Yes.
And again, if you're going to keep a car for a long period of time, by all means, that's the way to go.
Right.
But I look at this for myself as, I'd rather put $500 out of my pocket than $10,000. Have the same payment, and at the end of the term, I simply bring the keys back and get another automobile, and I'm out again another $500 out of pocket. Now, this particular lease worked extraordinarily well, because of the car's residual value.
Yes,
this particular automobile has an extraordinarily high residual value, and as a consumer,
that was this what 63%.
63%.
What you said last time was very high. What 50 to 55 is the normal range, maybe up to 60.
Somewhere in the mid to upper 50s is about normal, but unfortunately there's manufacturers out there that have terrible residuals. And again, I don't need to go into naming manufacturers, but one in particular, we didn't look at just this car, we looked at 3 cars.
Okay.
And the first car we looked at, which we really wanted, unfortunately had a 52% residual.
Oh, wow.
And the math just didn't make sense, right? So it just doesn't work.
So going in there armed with that education, you're making an educated buy instead of just an emotional buy.
Right.
I mean, we still want to buy the car because we like it, we like the color, we like the ride. We meaning your wife, that's what really counted, and so forth. But you're making an educated guess, and based on the numbers you just showed a while ago, looks pretty darn good.
As a consumer, I've kept $10,000 in my pocket.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Not bad.
That's pretty cool. And I'm not going to try to bash anybody here. However, if you're helping people buy cars, if you're working for a new car dealership, and you don't know this stuff, and you can't sit down with your client and show them how this lease works versus a finance, and at least help them make an intelligent buying decision.
You're doing a disservice. Yeah,
I think so. And a lot of the salespeople, unfortunately, nowadays aren't being taught how this works.
I won't ask you for other places you went to and discounted, but I think you told me the place you bought your wife's car, leased it.
Yes.
Was not your first stop.
No.
Okay.
No, the first stop was somewhere else. It was a locally owned store.
Okay.
There's not a lot of them here, so you can pick it up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
The second stop was actually more of a phone call.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I was directed towards somebody who wanted my information, my email address, my phone number, a lot more. They wanted that information more than they wanted to help me buy a car. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
I asked everybody basically the same 4 questions: what's the MSRP? What are you going to cap the car at? Or what's the selling price? What's your residual value? And what's the cost of the money?
You would think when you ask those questions that they would understand that you're fairly sophisticated, wouldn't you?
That you've got an educated buyer.
Yeah.
Help them.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And unfortunately, again.
So you're not selling to them; they're helping you buy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But not everybody did that.
No. And the reason that we acquired the car that we did, number one, my wife loved the car.
Okay, that's important.
But more importantly, I think, is that when on the initial contact, I asked the same 4 questions.
Okay.
And I was given the correct answers.
Okay.
I was given real answers, useful answers, and that's what made
not the sales pitch.
Not the sales pitch.
Wow.
Exactly right. It's amazing what happens when you're honest with people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you ended up then from the phone call.
Yeah.
You went in.
And an hour later, we were driving a car.
Wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to mention who it was?
I am going to mention who it is.
Okay. Because we won't say who the others are.
No, we won't.
But
it's a locally owned dealership.
Okay.
Foothill Mazda.
Okay.
And again, the reason that we acquired the car is they were simply upfront and honest with us.
Yeah.
And it's
what a novel idea.
Amazing.
Okay.
So good on them.
Yes.
I met the sales manager down there. He's a great guy. I met the internet manager. He's a great guy. The salesman, Russell, was great.
Great.
And it was a really, really good experience for us. It really
and
was.
I think once in a while we ought to highlight those who treat us and prospective buyers or leaseors well.
Exactly
don't you
right.
think? Yeah.
Exactly right. I think it's a whole lot easier if you're just upfront and honest with the people, and you just
yeah.
try to help them rather than sell them.
Yeah, yeah. Because you'll go back to them next time first.
I told you about them.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Yes. And that word of mouth really means something.
Absolutely.
You know, and you may not tell the whole world, although we just did because we're on the internet. Right. But the fact is, if you have a bad experience, my guess is you're telling some of your friends who the bad experience was with.
Far more often.
Yes, exactly.
Far more often.
Exactly my point.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
There's a lesson there for the dealers who I believe for the most part are honest dealers.
Oh, I think so.
But it comes back to some of the things we talked about early on in some of our first programs, and that's the education and training that the sales folks don't get, and that they don't know how to handle this, and they start playing games and they try to sell you rather than help you buy.
Yeah, I think you're right. It does come down to a lot to the training. It does come to that, and boy, there's a whole new show there.
Yes, yes.
You know, there really is. We could discuss that for many, many, many hours.
You've seen it. You've seen the good and the bad and the ugly, haven't you?
I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Any last words before we close the program off today? This has been really helpful. You've educated me. My math might not have been exact, but
it was close.
It was close.
Yeah, it was close. I think we get the general idea. I'm putting $10,000 less out of my pocket over the same 36 months.
That's pretty easy to grasp.
There you go. It's pretty simple, right? So, no, it's great. I'm hoping that the show is being informative. I'm hoping that it's a little bit entertaining. And as this goes a little bit further on, hopefully I'll get a little bit less nervous.
Oh, yeah, you keep saying you keep saying you're nervous.
Oh, I am.
Yeah.
I am.
Oh, gee. Yeah. All right. Well, Klaus, thank you again for great information, and thanks for watching. We'll see you back here in 2 weeks.
Thanks, folks.
Thanks for watching. The Car Guy is produced in Spokane, Washington by SpokaneTalksMedia.com, which is solely responsible for its content. The Car Guy is sponsored in part by European Auto House and Can-Am Body Shop. Ask Klaus a question, recommend a guest, or hear this program again on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or SpokaneTalksMedia.com.